start.
Me start?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Where to start? So it's weird because Kristen just presented this idea to me that how about we talk about what we just did and it'll be like the future but the past. So anyway, we just changed out the mixing elbow on our Yanmar. We have a 4LHA-HTP, which is the inline four-cylinder, 160 horse turbocharged Yanmar that's on the boat. And when we got the survey done, they told us that it has porosity and that we need to change it out. So $500, we bought a new mixing elbow.
It's my Christmas present.
Yeah, it was our Christmas. Mine was the grill, so score. We got both parts. So anyway, we went through the process of changing it out. We tried to document it. It seems like it was going to be a pretty straightforward.
First half was rough. It was a 2-day project.
It ended up being 2 days because we ended up wanting and needing to change out the hose, the exhaust hose that goes between the mixing elbow and the muffler.
It was like, yeah. Well, you'll see. But anyway,
yeah.
so
so anyway,
video.
yeah, we went through. Kristen wanted to do the work, so we let her do most of it. Unless it needed to be manhandled, then I got in there.
Yeah, getting some of the pieces apart was really difficult.
Yeah,
There's not like a really good angle to get leverage, so Tony had to come in with brute force.
Yeah, it was fine though. So we trial and error a couple things. I have never worked on a Yanmar diesel before. There's nothing odd or weird about it. We made a couple shade tree mechanic mistakes as we're putting it back together and as we're taking it apart, but everything worked out well and back together, tested it. It's great. It's gave us a chance to get a little bit more intimately familiar with the engine, so we know.
So I'm learning everything. One of the things that I love most about Tony, everybody has to hear about our love, I know. But one of the things I love most, like top 5 things, is that he will, like he said, dive into something that he's never done before, and he finds a lot of success with it. And it's like a really cool thing about this guy right here. But he knows some things. He knows a lot of things. I have started this journey knowing nothing about electricity, engines,
sailing.
Sailing.
Yeah.
Like
but
nothing.
But she's willing to jump in and learn. So
Yeah.
I was like, you go, girl. I'll hand you tools.
It's fun.
We'll see how it goes.
Yeah. So I've learned a piece of the engine in the last couple days, and I have like intimate knowledge about how that part of the function of the engine works, and that's like super cool. So when I look at it, I'm like, oh, I know what this is for. From
the turbo to the muffler. I don't even know what they call it. The water. I guess it's technically the muffler. It's a water muffler, water jacketed, not jacketed, but.
It's cool to like understand that piece, and then as we go, I'll start understanding more and more pieces, and then eventually it'll be put together and. And I understand how it works. Sorry, we dropped you. Okay, so here we go. You can watch our journey. The video will probably end up being like 15-20 minutes. I don't know.
It should be fun. Kristen's it'll be our first edited video too. So Chris, we're tasking Kristen with the editing part of it. I've got the mechanical side of it, and Kristen's got the editing side of it. So.
Awesome. All right, enjoy.
Oh, and we found like 6 more projects to do next that we can.
The alternator, the C strainers.
Alternators, C strainers. we need to. No, we'll keep it a secret until there's more. Trust me, there's lots more.
Great.
All right.
Okay.
All right. Enjoy the video. Filming this?
Yeah.
All right. What are we doing?
We're going to change out the mixing elbow in our Yanmar engine.
What's the mixing elbow?
I think the mixing elbow is, I can't remember exactly. It's something having to do with gas and water, maybe?
Nope.
What is it?
It is an exhaust section of the engine. It comes out of the basically out of the turbocharger, and it's where the hot gases mix with the cooling water to cool
Okay,
off.
gases and water, generally speaking.
Okay. So here's our new one. This was your Christmas present, and this is apparently a new cast stainless one, which is nice. So it should be pretty straightforward to put in. You've got a clamp that goes from the turbo to here. You have the exhaust hose that slides over here, and then you have the water line that goes into here, and that should be it.
Okay, and point to it in here.
Okay, hang on. Let me set this on the tail. Let me just set it over here. Okay. So in here, where's my light?
Here it is.
Okay, thanks. So in here, this is the Yanmar. What is this? The 4, I can't remember what, gosh, I should know. I should have looked that up before we started this. But this is the 4LHA-HTP. It's a 4-cylinder, it's an inline 4-cylinder turbocharged diesel engine.
And inline means the pistons are all even, like in a row on the same plane?
In a row in the same plane, correct, from front to back. So they're all lined up underneath your valve cover here, okay? This is the exhaust side. This is the intake side, okay? This is where the fresh air comes in.
So we're going to be working on the exhaust side.
This is the exhaust side. Here's the turbocharger. Here's the intake side where the fresh air comes in through the turbo that spools up and compresses the air in through the intake side. This is the exhaust side of the turbo where the exhaust comes through and spins the turbocharger as it's leaving the engine. And as that leaves the engine, it spins the turbocharger, which is coupled through this little section here that's oiled, which is a nice oil injection line, which is oiled, and then it spins this cool side, which is your intake side, and that's what compresses the air going into the engine. So an engine is nothing but an air pump. It's just pumping air. The turbocharger helps it pump more air. So as the exhaust goes through the turbo, comes out of the turbo, it goes into the mixing elbow. And on ours, the mixing elbow has porosity, which you can see, if you can get up close, you can see this is like rust on here. Okay, so that is potentially an area where this can be leaking. It could be coming through, and it's definitely deteriorating. So when we had the
survey.
When we had the survey on the boat, the surveyor noticed this and made a point that this is a replaceable item, it should be done. When we had the engine survey done, secondly, for insurance, they came back and said the same thing. Honestly, it doesn't look too bad to me, but that doesn't mean a whole lot. There's, you know, I don't know. The interesting thing will be when we take this apart, see what's inside it, because that might be very, very telling to us. So really, it's just this bolt here. It's this these two hose clamps to pull the clamp off, and it's this this nut down here to pull this hose clamp off here. So it's literally these three things to get it off. This one was probably going to be a bitch because this is probably this exhaust is probably halfway melted onto here over time, because this is going to be, even though it's where the water meets it, it's still going to get hot over time. And these hoses like to melt onto this. So we're going to pull this off, pull these off, pull this off, and the whole thing should come off.
So the water comes in and mixes with the gases to cool it off.
Mixed with the exhaust gas, yeah,
okay,
to cool it off. Because you don't want all that hot going into the muffler and through the boat, right? You want it to be cool. You want the exhaust to be cooled off as it's going through the boat.
Okay.
You know, on a car, your exhaust can be really hot because it's outside in an open environment. In a boat, your exhaust you want to be cooled off because it's inside a boat. So that's what they're doing with this system, and that is one piece that needs to be replaced. It was about what, $500 for that mixing elbow, It should be straightforward. Maybe
We're gonna find out.
Maybe not easy, but it should be straightforward to replace.
Okay.
So, all right, so I'm
Here
gonna
we
grab
go.
some tools and we'll get back at it. All right, what are you doing first?
I'm taking off this hose clamp so that we can look at this fitting inside of here and see if we can reuse it in here.
Okay. There's how many?
There are 2
Yep.
bolts.
You know why they use 2 hose clamps?
Why?
Well, 1 for redundancy, but 2 you're tightening that.
Yeah, that's the wrong way. It depends on your perspective, Tony.
Yeah. All right, so we're gonna take that off. It's gonna be tight. We'll just get those loose and slide the hose clamps up out of the way. We'll try and break that whole hose loose. We should be able to. We can get some pliers around it or something if we need to get that. All right, so we're getting that loose so we can take that fitting off. That's where the water comes into the mixing elbow. So we just need to get that hose off so we can get that fitting off. We're gonna take that fitting off first while it's still attached to the engine so that we have something to hold it. Because we haven't installed the vise in the workshop yet, so we'll let the engine be the vise and hold this in place. But Kristen's doing this whole job, so.
So I'm gonna leave these bolts in here so we don't lose them, right?
Yeah, they
just
stay
kind of
in.
leave them.
They
just
stay in.
kind of.
Yeah, the way hose clamps work, they stay in. Yep.
Okay. All right.
Okay, now rip that thing off.
It's probably like glued on there. Okay, let's see.
This is funny.
Let's see.
For everybody at home laughing because you know what's going on, right? I'll tell her in a minute, but I want to see her struggle.
Thanks,
Come on,
babe.
pull that off. Is it moving at all?
A little.
Is it?
Yeah.
You might actually get it. Does it spin, rotate?
A little bit.
Oh wow. I thought it'd be glued on there.
Yeah, it's just. Where's the hint? Should I pry it off with a flat edge?
Well, I did get this for you here.
What is it?
I got this
It's
just
a present.
to break it loose.
This is like, oh.
So that you wanted, that will just, you need to open that up. Push the button here.
Okay, where do I put it? Here?
Right around there, yep. And all you're trying to do at this point is get the hose to move freely, circularly. No. This way.
This way?
Yeah, there. Okay, so it's loose that way.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. So at that point, you should be able to pull it off. So take those off, because you don't want to damage that hose. So we're gonna pull it this way.
I think I need to pull from that
From
way.
where I'm sitting in.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. I'm gonna turn this off, and we'll let it swap places. Okay, so I'm gonna slide these way up, out of the way. Okay, you have it on?
Yep.
All right, so here's what's interesting is this is really loose like this. And while I have 2 trains of thought. One, if we're gonna reuse this, we can just break it loose and undo it, and it'll spin in here, and we can just put it back on, put the hose clamps back on. There's no need to redo this. If we think we have a new fitting that will fit in here and fit the hose, which I think we do because we got a box of fittings, we'll need to get this off. So
We could unscrew it and then we're gonna have to unscrew it regardless of if we use a new fitting or not. So I got it.
yep, just need a little persuasion.
That's where the water comes from.
Okay, so that's easy enough. There's a adjustable wrench up there. That may not be big enough. I don't think I got the big one. No, I didn't get the BFW. I need the big.
You gotta give me my job back, babe.
Okay, I'll give you the big effing wrench. Okay, so we're gonna take this off because that's gonna need to come off, and then we'll see if we have the same fitting in a new version. Although it doesn't look bad, it's got a little bit of oxidation in it, but it should be good. So,
Take a look at it.
all right, what did I hand you? A big
A-
big pipe wrench.
Big adjustable wrench.
Okay.
So I'm gonna unscrew this, right?
Yep.
And I'm gonna go that way, it looks like.
Which way?
That way. Seems like it's that way.
Yep. So you see the two flat spots on that?
Yup.
Okay, so you want to avoid messing up the threads. So you want to get that tight down on there. And you want to twist it, but you're going to hit the turbo really fast.
Yeah.
So you may...
A little turn. Jesus. Maybe I can start over here.
Yeah. Probably what you're going to have to do.
This is the biggest wrench I've ever used.
Kind of bummed. I have some big adjustable wrenches, but I don't know where they are, which is so weird because I am pretty OCD about my tools.
No kidding.
Not very.
Really? I would have never guessed.
Leverage hold the end of it.
This is
Awkward.
hard.
That's being a mechanic. Come on, girl.
Can I tie a rope to the end of it?
No.
This is why. This is hard.
Yeah, it is.
All right.
You give up?
Not yet. This is really hard.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Welcome to being a diesel mechanic.
Well, how do you get it undone if you can't get it?
Leverage. You need an extension on that pipe, or the pipe wrench would be one way to do it. Another way to do it would be a big ass socket with a breaker bar.
Yeah.
Just different tools for it, but I think we can get it with this one. I can get in
Really?
there if you can't get it.
You try.
Okay. All right.
Okay, it's Tony's turn.
Yeah, there's no like good. There's no good leverage on this.
Yep.
So let's try. Let's see how this.
Back to where we started.
Well, I want to see if we can put it further away from the turbo. Push into it.
Oh, there we go. Now you loosened it up.
Yep. You see, I was able to do that. I put it instead of putting it all the way down. Usually, you put these things all the way down on the piece to give it more leverage, but that was touching the turbo, so I just brought it up a little bit to give us more room to work.
All right. You want more? There you go.
No. All
Come
right.
off. We can reuse it.
Well, here it is. So, yeah, I mean, that we can double check it and clean it up, but there's probably no reason why we can't use it. I need to get a light on it and clean off all the threads. I just need to clean off all the threads in the workshop under a light. And then, but yeah, I don't see there's any reason why we can't reuse it. There's nothing, again, I can't really see without light, and there's that light's in my eyes and I can't see.
Here.
So
I don't know if that helps
that's
any.
fine. So we'll clean up all this, we'll put new pipe thread on it, and then we'll put this back into the new
Does it
one.
fit? Yeah.
Yeah, it fits. It should be the same.
Hmm.
So, and they had an extra fitting here, which,
Yeah, I saw that.
yeah, I'm not for sure what that's for. We don't have anything going into there on our boat, so we'll just seal it off with this nut that's in there. So but yeah.
What I learned today is the way this works is the water goes through here and it goes on the outer shell, and then the gas is in the inner shell, and the water comes out here and the gas comes out here into that hose.
Exhaust hose.
And then finally is cooler and mixes together and cools off even more and then goes out the boat.
Yep. So in the mixing elbow, you're mixing seawater with the exhaust, basically the exhaust in this chamber. So this is the first cooling of the exhaust after the turbo, and you're basically just. What you doing, babe?
I'm getting this hose off of the bottom of the mixing elbow where the water and the gas is mixed together, and it's like getting a cake out of a pan.
So what hose is that?
I don't know what it's called. It's
The
just
exhaust hose.
oh, okay, the exhaust hose.
Okay. So that hose is like melted on there, isn't it? It's like you can't just pull it off.
No.
Yeah.
Do we have a bigger?
I do. You know what? I do. Look what I brought you. I brought you a bigger one too.
Thanks. Thank you. This is. You got a hammer?
I do.
A rubber hammer?
Yeah, but let's not do that just yet. And try and work your way around with that, because what we don't want to do is damage that hose. Well, it seems like we damaged the hose. However, that hose was 21 years old and needed replaced anyways. So when those hoses melt to the exhaust like that, they're a pain in the butt to get off. You want a bigger one?
Just trying to see how deep this thing goes.
You said it, not me.
So deep it put her ass to sleep.
Oh, compared to the other one? How far on it?
Deep.
Yeah, it's probably a good couple inches up there. Yeah.
Like 2.5, 3 inches.
Yeah, it probably goes. That hose probably goes on there a good ways.
I mean,
That's a critical seal, so. Okay, we're gonna let her work on this for a minute and come back. What are we trying now?
Oh. Well, the exhaust hose is not coming off, so we are going to take this clamp off of the turbo, the hot side of the turbo, right?
Yep.
And then we are going to see if we can spin this so that it will come off the exhaust hose.
Yep. Yeah, we went around to try and break it free, but that exhaust hose is so tight up against the muffler, there's really no room to push it down anymore, to even get it off, or to even try and rotate it. So, plus it's like a 4-inch diameter hose or something ridiculous. So that whole clamp has to come off. The way those work is like a C clamp. You have to take the whole thing off completely.
Okay.
Yeah, I forgot to tell you that. See this clamp on here? Or sorry, see this fitting right here, babe? That's one half. The other side of the turbo looks the same way.
Oh, okay.
And there's like a C.
It's supposed to come off all the way so it goes over the top of it.
Yep. Yeah. Those are used in a lot of automotive exhaust systems, turbochargers, and even in industrial applications where they have like vacuum systems. There you go. Yep. See. Let me see that. Let me show you the camera.
Here's the.
Okay, I got that. Yeah. So there's this like, see, there's this channel.
There's a Piper hair in it.
Go figure. There's this channel that when you tighten this down, it pulls both of those pieces together. So it pulls that side, and the other side looks like the exact same. It pulls them together. So yeah, you can see.
Is it okay if I like pull this back towards me?
Yeah, it is.
I bet you've never seen a mechanic with such a nice manicure.
Right. So see if you can rotate it at all. And that's the old one, so you can actually, you can put the end of the, well, I put the end of the mallet in there.
The end of the mallet?
Yeah. The other end, thick end. Maybe not. You just try to rotate it right free.
Jeez.
We can go get some different tools and try. That's probably not the best one to do. I just thought that was handy and you could try that. So
yeah, it's pretty. Will this bend this? And
no, it won't hurt it.
Well, there's nothing to stick it into anyway.
That's a Harbor Freight special screwdriver that can fall in the ocean and nobody cares.
Yeah. I mean, I can continue to stick.
Yeah,
the,
you can go around it more and see. Alright, to be continued.
All right, we're taking turns trying to get this mixing elbow off the exhaust hose. It's Tony's turn. Look at my hands.
This thing is fun. I think it's probably stuck underneath here.
Yeah.
We've not been able to really get down into this area very well.
The WD-40 is working, or helping at least.
Yeah, I think so.
There's more than no movement.
Yeah, this thing is original. As far as I can tell, it's original.
So that means it's, what is it, 24
Well, it
years
means
old?
it's 20 years old.
20
She's
years
2004. So it's 20 years old.
21 years old now.
Yeah, and it's also, where was that hose clamp? That was like right in there. So yeah, it's pretty far down. So we're trying to get down past where that hose clamp was to break that loose.
It's just a matter of time and determination.
Yeah, so she melts it on there and she's being a bitch, which is fine. And we're just trying to see what we can do here. So, you know what, well, this was kind of a random thought on how to do this, but I don't think this is a good, I can't get the leverage here really.
I was going the other way. I was getting some leverage, but
No, I hear it. You hear it?
mm-hmm. Yep.
It's,
Hopefully when we turn this video back on, it will be undone. Okay, so he's left me alone with the mixing elbow. Let's see how far I get. Okay, you're on video.
me?
Yep.
You like my shirt? Apparently this is the Circus de Soleil of strip clubs. We've never been, but we were handed a t-shirt, so I figured what better time to wear it than while we're working on the boat. We're gonna get dirty and nasty.
So you're looking for a new fitting for...
Yeah, there's a box of parts there's a lot of parts that came on the boat that are random. I feel like this part was, this box, there's two water sea strainers on the boat, and
I don't think I can see them yet.
they're underneath there. They're two sea strainers that are in pretty bad shape, and they've got a valve, a connection valve that connects them. And I feel like this is probably why he has all this box on board, because he knew that it needed to be replaced at some point. And there's a lot of unions, there's a lot of NPT or pipe thread to hose fittings. And I remember this box being on here, so I thought the mixing elbow itself has the same type of fitting, and I was thinking that I could just put a new one on if we have it. They're just not quite the right size,
yeah.
So it's no big deal. There's nothing wrong with this one.
Yeah.
I can clean up the threads.
Like a wire brush or something?
Yeah, the wire brush, exactly.
So the noise that's going on right now is the hair dryer of the exhaust pipe is getting warmed up, so hopefully it's easier to shove the end of the mixing elbow into the exhaust pipe. So that's what we're doing, and we read online that this might make it easier, so this is what we're doing. So we will see.
What you doing?
I'm tightening down this clamp.
Yeah. Hose clamp.
Yeah. Just so it's kind of just not gonna move around all over the place on me. I'm not tightening it all the way down.
Okay.
Just kind of enough to stay there.
We'll want that to be centered, right? In between the, I mean, you don't need to do it right now until you get it in the right spot.
Right,
But
just kind of, I just want it to hang out there so it's
Yeah.
not sliding all the way down.
Yep. So how'd your hairdryer trick work?
Awesome.
Yeah, that actually kind of impressed me. We heated up that 4-inch exhaust hose with the hairdryer, and she was able to slide that mixing elbow right in there by herself. So I tried to put it on without it, and I was like, "Oh, this is gonna suck," and that was just enough to make a difference. So we're gonna do
this end isn't as hard to get on, but I guess I'll heat it up a little bit.
Yeah, we'll do a test fit right now just to see make sure we got enough pipe.
Let's see.
Or we didn't get too much pipe.
Before
you know what I'm saying?
Even heat it up.
Yeah. So if it looks like it's gonna align the turbo and the mixing elbow and see if that's enough. I wouldn't. Well, I mean, if you can put it on, go ahead. But I was just gonna.
Yeah, I mean it goes right on.
Does it slide right on?
Yeah. You need to rotate it.
Yeah.
All right. This is so awkward.
Yeah.
I turn around.
Should we have gotten an inch more of the pipe?
I just need to rotate it like just a little bit.
Yeah, there you go. Keep going like that.
Is it turning? Oh yeah! Yay! Yay! Look,
Yeah.
pointing in the right direction. Yeah.
Okay. How much of it's on the? How much of it's on there down there?
I mean, it looks like it's like perfectly lined up.
Yeah, I see that. Like down there, you got enough to get that hose clamp. You got because it comes out
For sure.
that end, that male end comes out what, about 4 inches, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I would say.
Yeah. So you'll have plenty for that, and then you'll have plenty for this.
And then put this here. So.
Yeah. All right. Awesome. You want the at this point you can probably clamp that turbo to the mixing elbow, get it clamped back on, and then you can get your hose clamps back on.
You know what?
What?
Where's our clamps?
For what?
For
You don't remember?
no.
You put them in the box the mixing elbow came in.
Oh. Okay. That's
So,
over.
yeah, I'll get it for you.
That's over there.
Okay, cool. All right. Nice job, babe.
Yay.
Yeah. It's a nice light you got.
Yes, it is. We found it at Walmart last night.
That thing's pretty bright.
Yeah, was it like $40 or something?
It's 29 bucks.
Yeah, it's a good one though.
Yeah.
The other one wasn't really good. So
We had some.
So we've got the turbo and the mixing elbow and lined now. That's good.
Yeah, how was that fitting?
Pretty good. I mean, at first it wasn't straight, but I loosened the C-clamp and moved this around just to change the angle a little bit, and then now the lines are straight and everything. Can I see the old mixing elbow, please?
Yeah, I'll go get it up.
I just want to
see where you are width-wise.
Yeah, I just want to measure.
Okay.
And I'm ready for it.
Okay.
Okay. Your correct way to apply thread tape.
Thread tape, right. So if you look at the threads, they go in, right? If you're going around, right? So when you apply thread tape, you want to go the same direction that the rotation is going to be going, so that it pushes the tape into it, as opposed to untwisting it, unwrapping it, and bunching it up. Okay, so it's that simple. So the threads are going this way as you screw it in. You want the tape to go.
Follow the threads.
Yeah, basically opposite
So
of
you
it. So as
you start at this end.
yeah, you
And
start
then
at
you
this
go around.
small end. Yep. And depending on depending on what you're doing and how much of a seal, I don't think this with, you know, we've got what 10 threads on here. We're gonna get probably 8 or 9 in there. You probably don't even need it. It's also a very hot connection. This on the outside shouldn't be hot because it has fresh water going through it. This is the cold water coming through this, so it just really should never be hot. So it should be fine. But you know, we're gonna do 3 or 4 passes over it with thread tape, and then we should be good to go. This stuff's kind of a bitch to get started. You always want to pull it tight. I've heard everywhere from 2 to 10 wraps on these things. I usually like to do 5 or 6.
It looks like a lot more than what was on there.
Well,
But
when
it was
gets,
probably on there for 20 years, so.
it's not going
right.
to go anywhere. It's not going to go anywhere. So now that's the end of it. So as we start to screw in this way, as we turn the threads this way, that's going to, it's not going to unwrap it. If we did it the other way, start to screw it, it's going to unwrap it. So so this go in, and this is the same fitting. I cleaned up the threads and the outside of it with a wire brush.
It's an awfully big tool you have there.
I'm used to using big tools. It's a curse. This one's 18-inch. So we're gonna get that nice and snug. And
And then we put this hose over here back on it. And then we're done, right?
yeah, and then we fire the old girl up. It's an awkward
Yeah, that's an
position
awkward
to get
spot.
leverage, but
Yeah, how did we end up getting that off? Did that come off pretty easy? I can't remember.
came off with brute force.
That was the one that I deemed man work. I was like, I can't get it off.
Okay, I think we're good there. Here's the hose. There was a little bit of water in it. Put it on, so we're gonna try and do it real quick. Okay.
Assembling the mixing elbow was
need
so much easier than taking it apart.
the toolbox.
Okay. Okay, we're starting her up.
could just be something burning off. But also make sure we have water flowing through.
Feel it?
Yeah, I said I wanted to make sure we have water flowing through, and so I just grabbed it, and it's obvious we got water flowing through because it feels like it's about 35 degrees. I think when I hold my hand on that, it's so cold. There's like some, I don't know if it's exhaust, if it's leaking. Looks like it's leaking. We may have to try and redo that clamp. And I think you can see the smoke.
Yeah. Alright.
It's not hot, so it's just leaking through. Clear.
Clear. Forgot to tighten the C-clamp down all the way. Still smoke. Yep. Less. So
I don't want this on YouTube. However,
there's a gasket that was missing
there's
when
a
we put it
gasket.
together.
Yeah, and
So it wasn't
what's
on the line.
crazy is I don't think I saw it on the old one when we took
I
it
didn't
apart.
see it.
It might still be.
It just
caked.
might be stuck to
It
it.
might be still caked on. It's in the workshop.
Yeah.
So, what's funny is I literally did just see that though earlier, and I'm like, but I didn't.
It says
gasket
gasket.
inside. Right. That's
funny.
brilliant.
That's
so,
fine.
yeah, I pulled
That's
it
why
apart
you
to
start
look
it
at
and test it out. You don't close the door and wait till you're leaving.
No.
So that's good. So
Yeah.
that's good. Just we'll put that on there and tighten it back up.
I'm gonna
And
clean this up. This is the turbo side is just
Here.
nasty, dirty, but thanks. So clean this up, put that on. Yeah, that's one of those things that I should have known, but oh well. Well, this should help with the problem. This will tighten down better now.
yep.
Trying to decide where I want this. I think maybe buried on this side now.
Third time's the charm. It's straight. We got a gasket and the bolt's tight. I'm clear.
All right.
All right. It looks good from here. Get the light on it. Yeah, a little bit. Where's it? Is it coming out of the hose? The big hose? Yeah. On that side by the step? I do.
You do?
Yeah. Like a very little bit.
Yeah.
on that bottom side. Seems like.
Yeah, I think
Okay, we gotta sum this video up because we
Alright.
kind of left it at a cliffhanger.
Sorry for all the childish
antics.
innuendo jokes, because she's really good at those. Anyway, we finished the project. We got it done. So the mixing elbow is on the boat. It's installed. It's perfect. It works. It's awesome. There's no leaks. Everything's good.
I think the question at the end of the video is how do we solve the remainder of the leaking exhaust?
So what was interesting was where the turbo connects to the mixing elbow. It uses this like I don't know what the style of, I should know what it is. I apologize. I don't know what the style of fitting is. It's used in vacuums. It's used in turbos. It's used in cars and industrial. It's used in a lot of applications. But it's these two types of fittings that come together. They come together, and there's this double C clamp, right? There's these two fittings that
It's like
fit
these
like
two
this,
lips
and
that
then
are
you put the
pulled together
clamp
with the
around.
clamp.
As you tighten up the clamp, it pulls them closer together.
Mm-hmm.
That's the fitting. I don't know what that's called, and I apologize, but
I like C-clamp, but they have to be perfect.
they have to be perfect, and so that's what was used, and it's a common fitting. It's used all over the place. So how do we make it work? Because it didn't work at first. So what we did is we took it apart, tried it again, took it apart, tried it again. And we realized we didn't have a gasket. We took it apart, we tried it again with a gasket. It still didn't work.
It was better.
It was
significantly better.
It was significantly better. So ended up loosened it up while
Very
the engine
slightly.
Was running. Loosened it up.
Yeah.
I let it vibrate itself in place, because sometimes this thing vibrates a lot at idle.
Mm-hmm.
I loosened it up just enough to let it vibrate in place, and I tighten it up as it's vibrating.
And then it was done.
It was perfect.
Yeah.
That actually worked beautifully. That's probably not the protocol. That's probably not the way Yanmar says to do it. But with my 50 years of experience on working on stuff, that was what I thought might work, and it did work. And
Yeah.
so, you know what? I loosened it up enough to because this thing vibrates a lot.
And I know what a mixing elbow does now. This is awesome.
I know you
I'm
do.
like excited to work on the next thing. And then after we worked on that, Tony got into the amp.
The stereo,
Yeah.
which is
awesome.
a whole nother video.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
It's a whole
Yeah,
nother
that was a good
thing.
one.
Yeah.
So we
Our stereo sounds really good, but we have to stop there.
let's stop.
Yeah. we have to
All right.
stop.
So, we're new to YouTube, so we don't have.
A
We're
filter?
not a filter. We're also not paid. We're also not promoted. We're not supported. We don't
It's just
make a
fun.
dime off of this
Yeah.
yet. Maybe one day, because we hope to sail around the world, and we hope to have maybe because I have rental properties. You have a business. We have like our own stuff, but like if we make a couple bucks off it, great, awesome. If not.